To start, I'm going to use a pocket screwdriver and pop this up. You can use a trim tool if you want. It comes out from the back. It's kind of stuck to the trim here, to the vinyl. That's odd, but anyway, there we go. That's not supposed to happen. Okay, now that this comes out, it'll slide out the front. You can flip it over and disconnect it, unlock the connector, and just push it out. Now if you look in here, there's going to be a little door that you can pop open with your pocket screwdriver, and there's a small Phillips head screw in there. Go ahead and remove that. Try not to drop it. Take that out. And then to remove this door handle bezel, take a trim tool or a pocket screwdriver, slide it up over this lock and push down on the end of it. So you want to pry this up and out at the same time. Hold it there and then do the same thing but reverse on the bottom. So pry down. This should slide right out. There we go. Coming back down here on the switch, remove your main anchor bolt for the door. It's just a Phillips headed screw. And then if you look over here, there's a little cap that covers another mounting screw. Try to remove this cap without damaging it or the door panel. Another Phillips head screw here. And if you look up a little more, there's a tweeter speaker cover right here. Remove that and just pry it off the door. At this point, we can go around and then just pull the door panel off of the door. It's just clipped in at this point. I'm going to use a plastic trim tool, try to slide it in here, pull the door panel away from the door. It's just held on by push clips, which are pretty strong, so don't be afraid to pull hard. Now lift the door panel up. Wiggling it sometimes helps it. And before you pull it away completely, keep in mind there's still a wire behind here, and that's for the courtesy light on the bottom. So don't forget to disconnect that. There we go. Now your door panel's free. Now for this next step, I'm going to plug my window switch back in because my window is actually rolled down and it needs to be all the way up. So if yours is up, then don't worry about it. If yours is rolled down like mine, go ahead and put it all the way up. Unplug this and turn off the ignition again. Now let's peel back this vapor barrier. Be careful with the butyl tape, which is the sticky stuff. It's very sticky, and if it gets on your clothing, well, it's not really going to want to come off. So be very careful, especially if you have longer hair. Go ahead and peel this back. You don't need to go back all the way, just a little bit. We need to expose these holes here so we can get to the door handle on the other side. This next step is going to be really hard to show just because I also can't see almost anything, but take a 10mm socket with an extension, stick it down into this hole. You'll see a 10mm bolt. You're going to have to remove that bolt all the way. This is one of the two bolts that are holding on your door handle. Try not to drop it, but if you do, it's not the end of the world. You can reach it from the bottom of the door. Carefully take it out. There's one. Let's do the same to the other bolt, which is right through here. There it is. At this point, the door handle is loose, but it's still connected with the two rods that are making it operate. Now you can come on the outside, pull up on the door handle and out from the bottom of it. It's got some little hooks in there that you want to get over this lip of the door panel. There we go. Now there's a rod right here. This is for the lock mechanism. This has to come unhooked that way. Push that out of the way, and the rod should then slide straight out. There we go. That rod popped off. And if you look from underneath, it's really hard to show this, but there's a second rod, and this hook is actually facing frontwards, so you have to push it back to unlock it. That's unlocked. Now you can pop the rod out, and to pop the rod out, you have to push it that way towards the front of the car. Okay, that rod is off. Basically what I did is I twisted my pry bar and popped it out of right here, and now this door handle is free, as you can see. One last thing to disconnect is this 10mm bolt for the door lock. Be careful with these wires here. Okay, set that aside, save the bolt, and here's your old door handle. Take the new door handle and put the lock back in. Make sure it's not twisted the wrong way. Nice and snug. Let's slide this door handle up into position, just like this. Now I'm going to grab this top lock rod for the door handle, put it in through the mounting hole. Perfect. I know you can't see. It's really hard for me to see. And then just lock it on. Let's do the same with this one over here for the locking mechanism. I'm going to hold it, try to fish it through. All right, that one's through as well. Let's lock it on. Perfect. Now reinstall the door handle, slide it up and then over the bottom. It's got little hooks in there. Perfect. Feels like it's working. Let's bolt it back up. Again, really hard to see. Try to slide your bolts in. Okay, I got one. Again, try not to drop them inside the door. Snug both of these up. That's tight. That's tight. Perfect. Put the vapor barrier back, and hopefully for you it sticks. If it doesn't stick anymore, you can use some tape, or if you have other or new butyl tape, go ahead and use that, but this should stick well enough still. With your door panel ready to go in, let's connect the courtesy light back and make sure that the connector actually clicks in. Now slide the main wiring harness through this door handle area, then take the door panel and you want to slide it up and over this lip at the top. Make sure it's seated all the way across. Make sure this wiring isn't getting jammed in there. Now clip it back into its retainers. I'm going to start putting things back together from up here. Start with the tweeter cover. Snap that back in place. Then there was this little Phillips head over here. And this one had the cap over it. Then I had the door handle bezel. Pull the door handle out and reinstall this bezel. Make sure it snaps in. It didn't on the front, so I'll have to pull it back out. There we go. Now that it's hooked in on the front, you can snap it in on the back. Put the little Phillips head screw back in to secure it. Nice and snug. Close this little door to hide the screw. Let's put the main anchor bolt back in. Nice and tight. And now the window switch, reconnect it, make sure it clicks, and slide it in on the front first, and then on the back. Perfect. It doesn't stay down all the way for me because this part is swollen a little bit, but it should snap right into place. Perfect. You're all done.